Tonight's topic is attitude predicts altitude. I love this topic because attitude, well, it might not be everything, but it ranks right up there with oxygen. So it's so important if you want to be successful, if you want to be significant, if you want to make a difference in other people's lives. So I want to get into what it means to have a great attitude. So I'm going to cover two topics tonight. The first is that I want to cover 4 things that people with a great attitude do. 4 things that people with great attitudes do. And the second thing I want to cover is the 5 strategies to master your attitude so that we can live stronger and flourish with better attitude. So please, if you're getting this for the first time and you're with me tonight, just put a 1 if you're here live with me. If you're not, that's great. Just put a 2 when you're starting to watch this. And regardless of when I'm talking or what I'm talking about, if you have a question or you wanna have anything answered, you wanna make some insights, just ask right away. And I'll be right there with you and I'll answer your questions and we can do this together and we can grow together. So let's jump right into it. So the 4 things that people with great attitudes do, all right? The first thing is that they are accountable and they're responsible. Yeah, they're accountable and responsible. First of all, they're accountable to what they think, they say, and they do. All right, they're accountable to what they think, they say, and they do, and they're responsible for what they let into their minds. All right, so what they watch, what they listen to, what they read, how they react. These are all things that are important because it really matters what we're putting into our minds. And that's what creates our attitude. So we really have to check ourselves and to make sure that we're being accountable to, first of all, what we're saying to people and how we're reacting to people. Because let me tell you something right now. We've all been there, okay? Let's say we come home from work or we just had a bad day for who knows what reason. And we're driving home, we're pissed off, and we get home, we go home to our wife, or a husband or a spouse or a girlfriend, boyfriend, and we just start laying into them, all right? We just start being ugly. And they're looking at us like, what's going on? What the hell just happened? And the problem is that we just carry that bad attitude. What happened to us minutes, hours, maybe sometimes even days beforehand, and we carry it into the people that matter and the things that matter. And that's where it becomes a problem. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to take accountability for who we're being, what we're thinking, what we're saying, and we need to be able to set the standard for, okay, I need to check myself right now and I need to start being a little bit better, especially if I'm removing myself from that environment and entering into a new one. So that's number 1. We need to take accountability and responsibility. Number 2 is they are teachable. People with great attitudes are teachable, which means they want to be told that they're doing something that's a little off or how to improve. They want to have feedback. They want to have other people's opinions. They want criticism. That is how people grow. So it makes a lot of sense. If you're closed-minded, if you think you just know everything and you're not approachable, nobody's going to tell you that you're messing up, that your attitude's bad. You're never going to get the promotion. You're never going to get the responsibilities that you think you deserve because everybody else thinks, oh, well, he just thinks he knows it all. So the people with great attitudes are teachable, number 2. Number 3, they choose to be the bigger person. All right, they choose to be the bigger person. Listen. The best way I can describe this is we cannot choose what happens to us. None of us can choose what happens to us, but we can choose what happens in us. Do you guys get that? We can choose what happens in us, how we react to things. All right, we can't be responsible for the events and the circumstances, but we can be responsible for how we receive them and how we react to them. That's so important. That's what people with great attitudes do. All right? There are going to be hard times. We are always going to have hard times. I'm not trying to paint the picture of always be happy and always be positive and we're only going to have positive things. That's not true. I realize that we must realize that there are going to be hard times. There's going to be difficulties. But once we realize that, figure out how we're gonna move forward, how we're gonna respond with great attitudes. The best story that I can share with you guys, I had this told to me and shared with me. There's this show on either Discovery Channel or on National Geographic, and it was called Live Free or Die. And it was about this frontiersman who had to live off the land. I mean, when I say live off the land, this guy made his own clothes. He trapped and hunted his own food. He built his own house. And when I say he built his own house, they went into explanation that it took him 10 years to build the materials, just to build the house. 10 years to get the materials, and then 4 years to actually build the house. So it took him 14 years to build his house in the middle of a swamp with snakes and bugs and nothing that we would be very happy to be around, but it made him the best version of himself. I mean, if you saw the video and him describing how he did all this work and how happy he was to do it, it was insane. Like you actually was like, man, yeah, I want what he has. Even though I don't want to be in the middle of a swamp, I want what he's feeling. And it went back and said he was a financial advisor and he made all this money and it didn't make him happy. And so he's in the swamp, and they were doing this episode, and he was so happy because he just caught this something or trapped something, and he's going back to his home. And then all of a sudden, the camera shoots to his face, and his face just goes completely down. And his lip starts quivering, and it's because his house burnt down. The house that he spent 14 years to build burnt to the ground. And you know what he did? You know what he said? He said, he took a second, obviously he was sad for a second, then he said, you know what? I'm healthy, I'm safe. This is a good time to be thankful. I'm like, what? This is a good time to be thankful? And then he progresses and he starts looking around. He's like, you know what? I can still use some of this stuff. I can still use some of the things that burnt. And he starts looking around and he finds this small axe head, right? An axe head. And he's like, this is one of my favorite axe heads. And he's like, this warms my heart. I'm so grateful. I'm so blessed. I have so much. And I'm thinking, what? Your house just burnt down from building it for 14 years. You have an axe head and you're being appreciative? You're being thankful? How does that work? And so I got to tell you, and then it shifted even more. He said his body language shifted, and then he got excited about rebuilding his life. About rebuilding his life with a small axe head that he spent 14 years. And you want to know why? Because he knew what he was supposed to do. He knew where he was supposed to live. He knew how he was supposed to live. I mean, just imagine that. If we knew what we were supposed to do, how we were supposed to do it, and why we were supposed to do it, and we were so I know, I'm certain. I have certainty with this. That's power. I mean, that's amazing. I felt for that man, and then I was in awe because I was like, yep, I want what he has. That sounds good to me. So I know that was a long story, but listen, it's about being the bigger person and understanding we are in control no matter what, as long as we know what we want and why we want it. The fourth thing that people do with a great attitude, they understand the importance of having a great attitude. They get it because it's about being successful and significant. Everybody wants a successful life, and we all paint the picture of being successful differently. I get that, but I'm gonna paint you a very specific, simple picture. Being successful is adding value to yourself. When I add value to myself, I'm successful. Significance is when I add value to others. And we can only do that with a great attitude. That is the only way. That's the only way. Success and significance, we all want that. We all want to make a difference for ourselves, and we want to make a difference for others, but the only way we do that is if we have a great attitude. So I want to get into the 5 strategies. It's so good to see you guys. Todd, my boy John. It's good to see you guys. Jen, you're still on. I appreciate you being here. I'm sorry I got into it a little bit, but I'm so glad that you guys are here. But I want to get into the 5 strategies right now to master your attitude. The 5 strategies right now. So let's get into it. The first is you need to change your story. To have a great attitude, long term, is to change your story. We all have a story. But if your story is a story of being the victim, of somebody told me something when I was young, that I wasn't good enough, I wasn't smart enough, I wouldn't accomplish many things, and you've carried that on, and now you have limitations, and now you don't feel like you're good enough, that's a problem. Because first of all, it's bullshit, and it's not the truth. And second of all, we need to get present. We need to realize we can do whatever we want, and that there is no one that should have power over us. We shouldn't be the victim, we should be the hero. Be the hero of your own life, not the victim. That's ridiculous. Number 2, strategy number 2 is that we need to remove all limitations. Listen, the mind has no limitations. The mind is strong, powerful. It can create whatever we want for our lives. It's on us to create that through our actions. So once we create it for ourselves, all right, then we do it. And we don't let other people dictate that because they don't feel like they can do it for their own life. All right, that's huge. No limitations. Go all in. We only got one chance. This is one life. That is it. We got to go hard. We got to go all in. All right. So number 2 is remove the limitations. Number 3 strategy for mastering your attitude is to focus on you. That's right. The one thing that we can control, the one thing that we have control over is us. All right? It's not other people. When we start blaming, shaming, and complaining, guess what? That creates pain for us. That's right. Blaming, shaming, and complaining creates pain for us, not others. They don't care. They don't know that we're going through this. They don't know that we're struggling and having difficulties. So the more that we can remove ourselves from those things and stay in the present moment and worry about us, not other people, the more we push ourselves forward. That's how we progress. That's how we get strong. All right, so number 3 is to focus on us. Number 4 is to prime your day. If you want to have a strong mindset, if you want to have a positive attitude, you need to prime your day. That means that every morning you have a routine that you wake up and that it revitalizes you. It just gets you in this state where you just want to just crush it. You just want to dominate the day. All right, that is key. That is big. That is the biggest thing I could share with you guys, to start every day with a positive mindset. And to do that, you start doing things like waking up, stretching in the morning, drinking lots of water, exercising or stretching, putting good things in your body, meditating, and just visualizing positivity and visualizing what you want to happen through the day. That's how you prime your day. That's how you get a positive attitude. So that's number 4, prime your day. And the 5th and last thing to get a positive attitude is to close your day with appreciation. That's right. No matter what has happened, close the door, say it's over, and think about the things that you can be grateful for, the people that you can be thankful for, the anything that you can say, you know what, I appreciate that I was able to get this done today, that this happened to me today, and move forward. So not only do you get a great night's sleep, but then you again can prime yourself the very next day. So it's about starting your day and priming your day and closing the door on your day with appreciation, feeling good about what you've got accomplished, and then just building. I mean, that's momentum 101. So guys, I hope that you got some value out of this, and man, attitude's everything. And it's not that I know that I have the best attitude all the time. It's something that we consistently work on, but it's a habit. Like, just like everything else, we can condition ourselves to have a great attitude each and every day. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not just positive for us. It's positive for everyone around us. So if I were to leave you guys with the best advice about mastering your attitude in one sentence, it's to fill your minds with good things. Fill your minds with good things.